Camera works. Did I change that audio back or did I leave it? No, I'm going to leave it where it's at. I'll have to go check that out after the stream. So just real interesting before we get started here in 30 seconds. The 4:15 stream I did this morning was 17 minutes long. It took 29 minutes for it to populate the chat. That's about the 50-minute chats do populate within about 15 minutes. All right, we have 7 seconds. Microphones are going on.
And I don't have to look at Zoom. I don't have to look at Zoom the rest of the night. Thank goodness. Hello, everybody. Tony Wabo said hot mic. If it was, it just went hot because I just unmuted it just a second ago. I played around. Sam will be happy and proud of this. Doug might be, but I'm not going to go to OBS, but I'm going to actually
Switch the scenes. And right now, going out on Fortnite, it is the DaVinci Resolve machine, which I have YouTube up as a demonstration. I didn't want to make Greg mad right off the bat. So I brought up YouTube, and then I'm going to switch back to the
Zoom screen. And all that's being done through StreamerBot. Keyboards, hotkeys. I originally set it up as a voice command, but then I thought that would be kind
John
of silly.
Williams
if we're
said goodbye,
I
Ken.
go DaVinci machine, and no one's going to know what that means. So the keyboard command works out really good. Now I do want to get with Sam, maybe Doug later, one of these days, on unmuting and muting the microphones as well. And how does audio sound both over Zoom and on YouTube?
That sounds good to me.
Okay, good. I'm going to leave it just as is then. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. We have special guests tonight. Doug Betts, Kinstyle Live with the Zoom Homies, featuring William, Rich, Greg, special guest Doug Betts, Jeff Ryman, Sam, Darren Gilholm, and Chris Garrett. Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
John Williams said hello, Greg Guy.
John says hello to Greg. Tony was first in chat, followed by John Willis Sr. Second, Doug was actually third. Wow, Doug, that's amazing. You were third tonight in chat. I'm hearing some feedback from somewhere. Let's figure out where that's at.
Me.
Yep, your green box just showed up. Sin Vicious is in chat. Guess who was a Canadian man? Yes, Mrs. K. And Canadian. Greg was fifth tonight. John showed up sixth. Looks like I'm caught up now with chat. Viral Vinay GJ01. Where do you come up with these names? Probably Fresno, California. Anyway, how's everybody doing?
I'm good.
Frustrated.
More computer problems?
Excellent.
Well, not hardware problems or operating system problems. I'm trying to install some pieces of software for a project. And this
John
isn't
Williams
software
said
that
very
comes
good.
pre-compiled. I have to build it. And the build scripts that came with the software are not working. This is something I haven't done for nearly 25 years or more. And they didn't even have these tools out there 25 years ago. So
It's pretty good though that you can still remember the basics on how to do it, because earlier today, one of the other Californians and I were trying to figure out how to do something on your YouTube channel, and he said he had just did it 12 hours ago and couldn't remember how to do it. And that was to, when you go to someone's channel, have their subscription show up as to who they are subscribed to. Mine were temporarily that way; they no longer are. I shut that back off again. So. Doug, any insight on how to help Mr. Ryman out?
Oh, you might have seen a little smile on my lips at the time. I was going to ask, did you consider trying Copilot or some other AI? They say programming code is
No,
something that's
what this
decent
is,
at.
there's a manual about yay thick, and this is not something you can do by trial and error. And the manual isn't very good. Because of the way my system is set up, when it tries to search through the paths, it tries to automatically find the compilers I have on my system. And because of some weird stuff that Microsoft does, it thinks I've got an old Visual Studio 17 when I do not have anything there except a
John
few
Williams said back at
fragments
you.
that got installed from some other software. And I don't want to use Visual Studio in the first place. I've got some GNU compilers installed, and it was finding them at first, and then it caused another problem. When I fixed that problem, now it can't even find them. So I went from one problem to another.
So it's not a coding syntax issue.
Well, there's a file I need in which I need to specify which compilers I want and where to find them, but I cannot find any place in the manual the proper syntax to use in that file.
All right, well, that's something I am suggesting. Try Copilot or ChatGPT or something like that. I mean, it's if you're frustrated
I even have
at this point,
Copilot.
give it a shot. Do you have Windows 11?
No, I'm doing this on a Windows 10 system.
Okay, but do you have a Windows 11 computer where you can ask the question?
Probably. Well, I have a bare installation of Windows 11 on my new computer.
All right, I don't know what that means in regards to
Well, I mean,
Copilot.
I just installed Windows. I've got Windows, and I guess you get Edge with Windows, and that's all that's on the computer. No browser other than Edge, no anything else.
All right, well, Copilot's even in Edge, that ribbon-looking thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. All right, well, I'll drop it because it's apparent that you're not.
Well, it's just I'm not really
interested.
familiar with doing that either.
All right.
I've got reference material that should tell me, and it just isn't written very well.
I do have news of the mention that Doug was trying to give me today. I got one mention, and it was after, like you said, once a stream is dead and once it does its thing, updates or populates or whatever. It's not populated, I know that. But it was probably 15, 20 minutes after your stream ended. I did get the notification. I did go check. I do have the mention. So,
All right.
guess it's not a thing you can do while you're live streaming. So, but it did work. I did want to pass that along to you.
All right.
So
Good to know. Thank you. I was just noticing something else in not too recent past. I
John
said
Williams,
that when you
it is
flipped your
currently
mouse
27
over
degrees Fahrenheit,
thumbnail
minus
for a video,
2.8 degrees Celsius,
that I
and
thought
overcast
that
in Madison,
YouTube would be
Wisconsin.
picking out something that looks like an emotional piece from the video
okay.
to be of interest, and it did that today on my video. Can I share my screen and show that?
Sure.
Because I just got a kick out of noticing that. So this shows up on my. This is not my studio. So this is a piece anyone should see. So to the right of my mouse cursor is today's video, and when I float the mouse over it, it does show an emotional piece.
Is it showing an emotional piece, or is it showing where you may have stopped watching your video at? Because all your red lines seem to be about the same. And by the way, I promise I'm not going to use that, but I could go get that. Because if you look at all the
All right,
three
I see
red
your
lines,
point. I see your point. It's like, is that where my video was at? Okay, so the way I would answer that, I think.
go to hijack.
No, even if I go to view my channel, it's still going to show the same thing, isn't it?
I would think, yeah.
Still
that
going to
would
show
make-
the red line. Okay, so now I'll just click into the video, and if that's no, that's not what's happening at that point.
So where did that come
No.
from? Did you?
I don't know where that was in the show. It was probably when I was reading something from you.
Probably. I mean, I think you're right. I think it was early on when we were trying to talk about what you said you're going to explain tonight, which I figure you probably want to do that after the stream, just in case.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
Yeah.
But,
But Rick's not here, so I was
right, and
wondering.
again, he'll show up after the stream, or he generally does. He generally doesn't join us for the live stream. I did not know that. I always thought that it just takes you to, on mine now, when I'm checking it out, it's taking me to wherever the stream is live at the time. But I'm not in my studio. I'm on my main page to look at other subscribers. So let me go.
Are you referring to when you float your mouse over my video from today?
No, I was checking out.
No, you should try floating your mouse over my video from today and see if you see that head shaking
All right,
thing.
let me go there then. Little need some background music. Rick says I will be on Zoom at 9:30, which is 10:30 our time. So
7:30 my time.
Did you watch your guy that you sent everybody to with your redirect?
Yeah, I'm wondering if anybody else did.
I did. The first time was 3 minutes.
Yeah, I saw it under 2 minutes. But then just before coming on to your Zoom, I noticed that he is streaming right now, and he's been streaming for like 3 hours.
Yeah, I fired it back up, and I'll have to go give it another attempt. Okay, so now I'm on your channel, and I'll go to the live tab. It does show you shaking your head, actually.
Yeah, I think it'll show that when anyone floats over that video.
And then on the responding to tech questions, you're going, is that Kenstock Live showing up today? Interesting. That is some interesting knowledge to know. Greg, we got some echo from the TV yet. Coming through. Keith is saying it shows the same for him as well. Hello, Keith. Thank you for joining the chat. So yeah, that's something I didn't know. That is interesting. Cool. Keith says good evening. Now I'm going to check something out. I wished I would have set a second camera up so I could show you guys. I'm not going to go to OBS. I'm going to go to the keyboard, and I'm going to press the keyboard.
And you know what? I can show this on YouTube. I just realized this. I knew there was a purpose behind this. So let me go see if I can find Doug's channel. Oh, it's right here. What Doug is referring to, even though it went out, if I hover over his thumbnail from today, he's shaking his head. See, I knew there was a reason why I did this.
Did you bring that up through StreamerBot?
Yes, it's keyboard commands.
Did the scene switching? Okay.
Yep. And apparently you can use it for just about anything you want. Now, the problem that I have is if I come back over here to the DaVinci machine and I hover over this one where you're debating on where you're going to get the comment from, then I can't use the keyboard command. I have to have the mouse back over on near OBS, and then it's just Alt-0, or I'm sorry, Alt-1, and it puts us back on Zoom.
Right, because hotkeys will be active on whatever window is active.
Right. So
now, Keith in your chat says, "Wow, whoa, volume changed." I think somehow when you switch scenes, your microphone is changing.
I had that problem last night as well when I was bouncing back and forth, and I've got to get into OBS and figure out what's going on. I don't know if it's picking up both the Yeti and me. Tonight's stream is strictly coming from the earbuds. The Yeti is fact. I will mute.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so now now there will be audio because the mixer is bouncing over. The audio is actually low. I'm sitting a foot away. I have a naturally loud voice anyway, and I'm not even getting any.
John Williams said Ken is silent. Yahoo.
John, thank you. Yes. Yeah, one of these nights we need to do the silent live stream that's so popular in Vietnam and figure out how bad that's going to hurt the channel.
Or help.
Or help. It could help. It could help, yes. We have 1 minute. I am sticking to this 15-minute deal. I'm kind of liking it. Unless I'll go longer, or as Doug says, into overtime, if we have good conversation going back and forth and we're learning things. So if you want this to continue, let's bring something up and talk about it. I'm sure Doug wouldn't mind if you picked his brain a little bit. Oh, I got a question. General question to everybody, both YouTube and the Zoom homies. What does a creator consider to be the B-roll? And I have a specific question. I have a specific
Okay.
I'm asking for a reason.
I have an answer for you.
Go, Sam.
The B-roll is any video that wouldn't normally make it into the main video.
That's what I thought. Doug, your thoughts? Doug looks to the ceiling for the answer, everybody. It's up there somewhere.
My perception of B-roll is whatever your video is, whether it's a live show or a produced video, B-roll would be video or even
Jim
images that you bring
KJ3N
in
said I'll
from
be in
somewhere
Zoom
else
after the
that you
stream.
previously
Got to
recorded
fix a martini.
to somehow enhance whatever you're talking about on your main video, but it does make its way to the final product.
Right.
And that's what I
It's
heard
just
today. Because I
me,
thought
that's
it was
just
basically
extra
what
video.
Sam said. But then if I was doing a talking head video with just myself right now and I said, oh, and by the way, on the golf course the other day, and I flashed to the golf course, the guy is considering that to be B-roll. Still the same video with me here, but the golf course is up there in the upper right-hand corner for me to point out my question. I always thought B-roll was things you made a long video and what you cut out, and that became your B-roll for later usage. That's what I always thought. It's been a very
that was
interesting day.
that was my impression from what Sam said, but now I'm thinking that's not what he meant. Sam? Sam, by your definition, does B-roll make it into the final
Sam?
product?
It can. What it is, and this is my impression of it. Okay, say I'm going on a long walk somewhere and I'm videoing the whole thing, right, using a handheld. I'm going to film my video, but then I might film extra, which is the B-roll.
Which
Like
will
I
be
might
which will be
not cut
edited
necessarily,
into
just
the video later.
yeah, specifically this is like, oh, here's some extra shots or detailed shots
Right.
of what I'm looking at.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, and it doesn't, and you might film so much B-roll that it's too much for the length of your intended video. So you're
Okay.
going to edit it a little bit, probably.
Right. I went to the Da Vinci
like-
machine. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, it's just like when you go out, say on a photography shoot, you don't just take one photo of the subject, you take 10, and then you pick out the best one. That's kind of the idea.
That's what I'm doing wrong. I always took one. Okay, I'll have to write that down.
Keith said, B-roll is supplemental footage used. You guys can read it. Basically, we're all saying the same thing, so that gives me a little bit better grasp of what's going on. In other words, I've used B-roll quite a bit in the past, and I didn't even realize it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
As per AI, yes, I'm looking at the AI overview, which may or may not be accurate, as we all know. I still haven't used ChatGPT. I'm looking for a free phone mirroring application. Thank you, Doug, for pointing out that you use.
John Williams
Whatever,
said
I've got
goodbye,
it.
Ken.
We're going into overtime, John. We're going to drag this out a little bit longer. What were the two that you actually use one, but it uses the other one, if I remember right?
Well, the software was called Mirroring 360, but the publisher was a different name.
Splash Top.
Yeah, Splashtop. So
Right.
do they have a free version? I know I paid for this, but I wouldn't be.
I couldn't
I'm
find
going to look
them
now.
having a free one. There's quite a few. The one that's got my interest is Apple A Power Mirror screen mirroring on the App Store. Boy, I better stop while I'm ahead. Susanna Morgan, proud single mother. Hello, good to see you again. Susanna was
English.
one of the few people that joined me at 04:15 this morning when I was seeing that the the changes that I made worked. And they did. The only thing that's not working properly is apparently Sam and I have a character limit on chat, and there's a reason for that. I don't know what that character limit is, but we might want to increase it just a little bit because I typed in, I don't know, a two sentence thing, and it wouldn't show up. I changed the font a little bit, and I'm still going to tinker with that a little bit more. So, all right, we're at 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you want to join us on the Zoom panel, by all means, send me an email at kstoutzz00m@gmail.com. Get you the credentials, get you on the panel. Thank you for being here. Generic thanks to everyone on YouTube. And I want to thank the Zoom homies, Bill, Rich, Greg, our Saturday night special guests, Doug, Jeff, Sam, Darren, and Chris. Thank you, guys. Now, if I had any brains at all, this is a lot like the Wizard of Oz. If I only had a brain, I would put a streamer bot
John Williams
command
said
to
good night.
stop my stream. And no, it wouldn't be Fred Flintstone and